Hey you guys, so this is an updated version of the mask making thing. We're starting, I figured out a couple of places where could have been easier and quicker. So this mask is going to be slightly different. It's not going to be open on the sides for the filters to go through. It's just going to be its own mask in and of itself, with just the lining and the outside, which I'm guessing is what can be used by hospitals also. So at this point they're just kind of desperate and they need what they can get. So here's this. I've pinned the pattern down to the fabric. I've got 2 layers here, so it will be cutting out 2 at a time. And we're going to leave 1/4 to 3/8 inches seam allowance all around, except for the ear side. We're going to leave a full inch seam allowance here, which I didn't do last time. It would have made my job a lot easier with what I was doing, but it's okay because we live and learn. Okay, so here is the updated version. Still has the seam allowance, but has more on the ear. That will give us plenty more room to fold it over and do that curtain rod style loop for the elastic, and also it'll be easier to get the elastic through because it will be wider now. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead, do the same kind of lining again. So you just lay this straight down onto the lining and cut around the floral fabric or whatever fabric you're using. But the point is that you've already allowed seam allowance, or you've already added seam allowance. So this is already the correct shape that you need. So I'm going to go ahead and take the pattern piece off so we can keep it intact as long as possible, and pin the fabric to the to the lining and cut it out. So we are pinning and cutting so we can all learn this together. Okay, so here is the fabric pinned to the lining, and we will cut out around the floral fabric. So now the pieces are cut out. There are 4 pieces within this. If we unpin, oh my gosh, my cat Hippie is crying to get in here. Not right now, baby. I'm sorry. Okay, so here's these. And this video I hope will be better because I can actually see what I'm doing and see what I'm showing on the video. So you take the 2 outer pieces here. Whenever they're put together, they will be like this. And then the 2 lining pieces in the same shape will be the same way, like this. And the point at the top creates the nose bridge. So the first thing we're going to do then is to put the pretty sides, if you will, together, the pattern sides, whatever's going to show, together, and sew this rounded edge for both. Again, put the fabric together and then sew the rounded edge. Okay, so now we've got these edges sewn here. We need to clip them so that when we turn them inside out, the seam will lie flat rather than being all wonky because we're turning it. And then we can press both seams to one side so that they will lay flat and we'll have a nice smooth seam. See how it goes? Wavy, so we need to clip, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Just take around the curved part, the nose bridge here. We're just going to cut out a couple. Careful not to actually cut all the way to the stitch line there. Just take out some extra fabric that we don't need in there. Okay, and then when you turn it inside out, makes it a little easier to lie once we iron it to the side. Okay, and then we will, I'll go ahead and iron it now. You can press those seams down. So there's that. You've got a nice smooth edge now. Okay, and that's just for the inside of the mask. We'll do the same thing with the outside. So again, we're going to cut a couple slits there. Make sure I didn't clip the thread. I think I did. Oops. I'll go back and reinforce it. Actually, I don't need to, because once I top stitch it, it will still be sewn shut. But, so there's that. Do one more for good measure. And we will open, and we're going to sew or press these down to the side. Okay. Okay, y'all, so once again, we have the top line, or the top stitching line here, just to hold the seam allowance in place, because once that's against somebody's face, they're not going to want it to be bunched up, or they're not going to want to have to mess with it, because, you know, it's their mask, you know, they don't want to stick their hands inside their mask. So now, what we're going to do is stitch the, let's see, we've got both of these ready to go. We're going to turn them inside out once again, so the rough, jagged little seam line is outside. We're going to stick pretty sides together. So this is the pretty side here. Smooth, see, together with the point at the top, or the nose bridge at the top. And then sew all the way across. See, they line up. So if this is the nose bridge here, we're just going to stitch all the way across. And then once that's done, we're going to stitch all the way across the bottom. Okay? Okay, you guys, so once again, we have the main part sewn both across the top, which is the nose bridge, and the bottom. Okay, now we flip it inside out here again. Okay. Takes a second to get it to lie down the way you want, but once you get it, we have the rounded part at the top, which is the nose bridge section. And again, so let's see, I'm gonna spread it and press this area to make it stay so that I can top stitch. And then all we have left really to do after that is to fold the sides under, like so, and then stick the elastic or the string through, and it will be a perfect, well, perfectly imperfect mask, like the other one. Okay. Okay, you guys, here it is, pressed and ready to go. Now I just have to sew the edges down and weave the string through them. There we go. And number 2 down. All right, y'all, mask number 2 down. This one is the child size, I believe, 7 to 12 years, a little bit smaller than the first. And here's what the inside looks like compared to the other. There's no pockets for the filters to go through, in hopes that this will be a good enough filter. It was way quicker, and from now on I'm gonna do only this style, way easier. And I left enough seam allowance there to give a nice wide loop or pocket for the elastic to go through, and I could just push it right through. It was very helpful. So good luck, everybody.